Well, I've started printing the train side frames in the Northern and Hudson style, and I went through a test fit and a test assembly that went really well. So I'm going with the production run of one train. I'm going to print the other three pairs. While they're printing, I'm going to be creating the wheel assembly, the axle wheel assemblies. And the axle wheel assemblies, I use the sintered metal wheels, and I have a big bag of axles that I received, and the axles are slightly oversized. Don't know why. When you press them on, if you force fit them, they'll crack the wheel. Just cracks open. It's crazy. All right. So that means the process is not just cutting the axle in half, because the axle needs to be separated in the middle, as we want all-wheel pickup, right? So we're going to have, instead of a wheel and axle like this, we're going to have an axle with a piece of plastic in the middle. That little spacer, the axle spacer, is getting printed after these parts. I had a few, but they were the wrong ones. We have to have a certain type. They need to be a 7mm diameter and a 16mm width. And what that's going to do with these new side frames is going to allow me to press the wheels snug to the plastic. I won't have to worry about it. And then all I need to do is make sure I have 3mm sticking out on the sides. And that is what's going to go into the bronze bushing on the side frame. And these wheels will roll smooth and won't have any drag from the wire rubbing on it. They will be transferring the power from the axle to the brass bushing on the inside. No wire. The wire is through the metal pieces getting picked up and then running out, but that is all fitted into the 3D printed part. I've got it fitting real well. I had a good time assembling the third one finally. First two were just a disaster. I needed 10 arms and 20 fingers, but I got it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these axles in half, get them to the right length. Then I've got to drill these wheels out. There's the magic drill is right under here. It's in a bag. It's a 0.106 drill. And that gives me about 1/1000 of press fit, which is all you need. And then I press fit them on, and then I put the spacers on, and then they're ready to put together. Okay, so I'm going to do all this. I'll just time out now. I'll come back and show you how it's going later. So I got one set done. That's 12 wheels. What I wanted to show you was how the axle will not go into the other wheel at all. And once I've drilled it out, it will go in. It'll start to go in, but then it hits the knurling and stops, and that's what you want. That's what you want. So these are done. Now I can finish up with the next 12, and these will be at least a second. I actually need to do 3 sets. Maybe I'll go ahead and do the 3. All right, more later. For the drilling process, I use a lightweight Craftsman tool. Doesn't matter. I have a nice V-groove in my great grips here, my bench vise, so I open that up, I square the wheel, I clamp it down so I know it's tight and it's square. Then I get the drill and I hold it as close to square as I can, and I just let the drill go down, just guiding it more or less, and it comes out pretty good. And then I'll test it with an axle so that I know it's drilled, and then I go on to the next one. And that's how the process gets done. Oh yes, one-handed. I can do it. I can do it. So I got to do 36 of these, just like this. Get it in there. Get it snug. Make sure it's tight. I had put a little oil on this drill just to give it some lube. There we go. Blow it out. Fit. Perfect. Loosen it up. Pull it out. Boom. 2 done. 10 to go. We're going later. Now what I'm doing is cutting the axle in half. I have a tool, it's just an old hunk of stuff, and I drilled it out and I put a scribe mark on it. Then I flipped the axle around and put a second scribe mark on it. And so that allows me to find these, a pair of scribe marks on here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I can in the glint of anyway, there are 2 scribe marks, and you can split the difference with your eye, at least I can. I grab one end in the pliers, and then I come over here and I line up the 2 scribe marks. Now I can't see them. I line up the 2 scribe marks, I'll have to scribe it again, and then I just grind it up, and that gives me 2 equal halves, or at least near equal. I measure them, and then I would finish the ends, and I make them identical. So I have to do that now for 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 axles. Cut them in half. Or, yeah, something like that. And then I got a pair of them. And then I'm all set. Okay, more later. Well, I got all those axles done. My God, is that tedious. I grind the tips. I round off the edges, and then I just make them smooth, and then I measure each one and try to stack them up. I need to go back to my diagram design and determine the minimum I can use and the maximum I can use and still have a good piece. I think I might have one that's a little under, but that's okay. I got plenty. I got enough here for 3 6-wheel tenders. Oh, well, I wouldn't want to do this for a living, I can tell you. You guys are killing me. All right, onward and upward. More, say when he's done, I don't know how much time he has left. Let's check. When he's done, I got to print the wheel spacers. 43 minutes. Oh, Lordy. He's not going to be done till 5. Okay. Well, I guess I can do something else. The printer's tight up, you know. It really is a bad thing because I do a lot of that. All right, well, I guess I can press the axles in and see how that looks. And then get the measurements, you know, the 3 millimeters on the end, and then see what's on the center and go that route. At least the wheel and axle will be pressed in. Okay. All right, that'll be it. Later. Been assembling the axles. Getting them in that balance between too long and too short. Got a few more to go for a train, and I'll get to them, but I have to stop now. My witching hour is over, unfortunately. I'm on still printing the axle dividers because I have it's a new part for me, a new design, a new segment spacing, whatnot. So I want to make sure I've got it as good as I can. And I'm printing one, and mainly to check the elephant leg. I want to see if it looks like this at the base, kind of spread out. That means I've got the nozzle down. I need to raise what they call the Z height. The Z is this direction. So I'm going to check that, and then I can set it for the right Z height based on what I see, and then I can print the rest. And I have to print 3, 6 times 3 is, I have to print 18 of them. Oh boy. All right, I'll just wrap this up now because I'm not going to be able to assemble anything. I'm right at the end. So I'll just button this up and send it out. It's a multi-part thing, but I think you'll figure out what's happening and why it's so weird. All right, gang, later.